Hey everybody, today is December 19th, so we'll be looking at December 18th MTG stocks. There is a little bit of a price increase here. Nothing much. These are kind of boring cards, except for probably more of the actual price reduces. We won't be going into the Theros Beyond stuff. As you can see here, they're like $25, and none of that's actually correct because people are just trying to sell it for whatever, and prices are very weird. We did pick up a couple of the ones from the price decreases, and then I actually picked one of the, I didn't really realize this, but there was this fairly big price increase on a couple of cards here. So, let's go and go to our first card, which is Frilled Sandwalla. This is a green creature that costs green. It is a lizard. It's a 1/1. And has the ability, if you pay one colorless, pay one green, Frilled Sandwalla gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate this ability only each turn. So, the reason why this is so expensive, this is, as we can see over here, looking at about $2, and I've explained this before, these are only in the decks. And so if you want this card, you have to buy a whole deck to get a copy of this. And so that's why they go for so much, but the card themselves isn't really that great. I mean, a 1-mana 1/1 lizard is not very many places that can fit into, and it does have a pump ability. I'll give it that. But you can only use it once per turn. So it's like, well, it's not good. But I just kind of wanted to bring it up, and it was our top price increase, so might as well, I guess. And then we're going to go ahead and go into our second card, which is Casualties of War. I like this card a lot. I've always liked this card since I've seen it. It costs 2 colorless, black, green. It's a sorcery. You choose one or more. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature, destroy target enchantment, destroy target land, and destroy target planeswalker. So what's nice about this is there is cards that are like this, but they don't say choose one or more. You just have to do it. And so that means that you have to have a target for everything. But since it says choose one or more, what's nice about this is that, so let's say if you're the only person that has a planeswalker. Well, in that case, you don't have to choose destroy target planeswalker anymore. You still choose all the other things, though, if you need. Or even if you just need destroy target creature, like if you're in a desperate situation where you're like, okay, that creature has to go, then you can do that. You probably destroy a land too, because why not at that point? But it's just very versatile. I like this card a lot. I felt like this card should have gone up before, and it's gone up from like, I think it was about $1 something to about $2 now. I don't really hope it goes up like a ton or anything, because I still want people to access this card, of course, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm surprised it isn't worth more. So I also like the art here. It's like got a good old explosion. It's very like contrasting with, I guess, kind of like the colors, because everything else is like green and black, and then you have like this nice blue there. The next cards that we're going to go into are some of the price decreases, which the first one here is Pindell Haven. It's a legendary land. You can tap it, add green to your mana pool, or you can tap it and make a 1/1 creature gain +1/+2 until end of turn. I think this is actually really good for like elf decks, because a lot of elves are 1/1 creatures, or just token decks in general. This could go, I guess, into goblin decks, but the green mana is not going to help you out a ton. And commander decks, you can't really do that unless you're going like a Gruul color for goblins, which it's not too familiar with that one. But this one decreased just a little bit. It's like around $12 or $11 now. Now you just got to keep in mind with this card, though, that there are other versions of it, and they're much cheaper. So the other versions are like 2 or less, or somewhere around 2. So if you do like this card and you don't want to pay the $12, then at least you have some options there. I do like this old art. It's neat. It's not something it's not something you see nowadays with this kind of like very vibrant, weird look almost. But I like the card regardless art style. And for our fourth card, it's another price decrease. This is the Stormseeker. This is 3 colorless, green. It's an instant, and it does 1 damage to an opponent for every card in his or her hand. I thought this was pretty interesting because green doesn't have a lot of like direct damage spells like this, I'd say. That's much more red. But I think like you could really do something interesting with this. I don't know if this would probably be more like a blue deck or like a Simic deck, I should say, where you have green and blue. But I just thought it was very interesting to have an effect like this. And I don't know if there's a way to abuse this, but people probably really don't expect you to suddenly do like, oh, I'm going to do 10 damage to you because you have 10 cards in your hand for some reason. This is another one that was kind of expensive and it dropped down like, maybe $1. But yet again, there's another reprinting of it, and that one's worth like 25 cents or something like that. So if you do like this card, you don't have to worry about it too much. It's not that terribly expensive unless you just really want that old art for some reason. Well, I should say this is the same art, but it was like the reprinted version. So, if you really want the old one, it's going to cost you more, but you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. I do like the like just sword in the background of like the storm. It's neat to see that. I feel like it's probably generic at this point, but I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of nice to see something almost generic like that. Yeah. And then we'll be going into our commander of the night, which is Rhys the Exiled. This is a 2 colorless green legendary creature elf warrior. It's a 3/2, and when it attacks, you gain 1 life for each elf you control. So if you had 10 elves, she attacks, now you get 10 health. Not bad. And then it also has black, sacrifice an elf, regenerate her. So what's really nice about this is that she's a sack outlet. She gives you a lot of health, and you don't have to worry about the attack because you can just pay 1 and sacrifice off something, and then someone can chump block you, or someone can just put a bigger creature in front of you. But with that regenerate, I think that what makes her really shine because she doesn't worry about it as much. I think another good thing to put on her is some equipment that but put on Rhys. We'll go for that. Rhys, man, rough. But put equipment on Rhys and give it death touch, and that makes it even worse for people. They don't want to mess with that. So it seems like a pretty interesting commander overall, and since this is green and black here, that means that of course it is a Golgari commander. And that's probably the commander that I'll be going for in my line of the 4 dual black color pre-con decks. We'll call them pre-con decks. But I think it's an interesting like aristocrats commander that you can potentially pull off. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to be underpowered compared to the other commanders, but I think it's an interesting pick. And I wanted to stay away from like dredge and stuff because I have another deck that's already kind of doing that. So it'd be interesting to kind of go an aristocrats route with this. And then for our kind of randomish card for the night, this will kind of back up Rhys a little bit, which is Moldervine Reclamation. This is a 3 colorless black green enchantment, and whenever a creature you control dies, you gain a life and you draw a card. So this with Rhys is super, super nice. If you can tutor this out quickly, that'd be probably the best choice if you have that option. But this is really good for any kind of sacrifice. I mean, Golgari or Jund in general could probably benefit from this card. When you think of like something like Prosh is, he puts out 6 little guys, and then he has a manaless, or just basically a free sacrifice outlet on himself. So if you have Moldervine out, you can just, if you're really desperate for cards, you can just sacrifice 6 of your kobolds, and then you now have 6 cards and 6 life. So I think this is a very, very good enchantment, and I like it a lot. The artwork is, I don't know who this is. I probably should. Let's see, Heroes Past Nourish. So I don't know. I probably should know this, but I'm not super in the lore, so I'm bad at that. But it is kind of neat where you have the vines, Molder vines, going up, and like almost looks like it's sapping out energy from like this tomb. So pretty neat. Then we'll kind of end off the night here as always with our random cards. So for random card number 1, Mountain, rough. Random card number 1.5, Terminate. Okay. Terminate. This is a black-red instant. It has destroy target creature. It cannot be regenerated. This is a pretty solid card in general. It's about $1, as we can see over here on the right, but over here. But it's, I mean, for 2 mana, instant speed, destroying a creature and can't be regenerated. Very, very versatile, and probably most decks that run those colors are going to use it just because it is that it's kind of like Swords of Plowshare to some degree. It's just one of those ones where you're like, okay, this should probably go to my deck even if it doesn't thematically quote unquote fit. It's just a very good destruction card. I think we actually have the, let's see, plane shift one. Yeah, we have the plane shift one, but we have a foil version of it for some reason. We just randomly do. And it's funny about these really old foil cards is that they are just worth a lot. So, you see 79 cents, you're like, okay, 79 cents, whatever. How much is the foil worth? $2? No, apparently the foil's worth like, or at least it was when I checked last, was like $20, $25, just because it's an old foil rare and they're very hard to get back then. And so now it's even harder to get them now. So that's why they're worth so much. Just kind of interesting. Thought it was like, when I saw that, I was like, whoa. Then we're going to go to our second random card of the night, which is Archangel Addison. This is a legendary creature, Angel, as Flash, Flying, Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. When a non-angel creature you control dies, transform it at the beginning of the next end step. So this is a transform card, and we look at this. It says Addison the Purifier. She is a legendary creature angel, and will indicate over here that she has a little red dot. And so even though she doesn't have a mana cost, she is a red creature. So if you were wanting to use this for the EDH deck, she is actually Boros colors. So keep that in mind. She is not mono white. She is a 6/5 flying. When this creature transforms, does 3 damage to each other creature in each opponent. So this is pretty nice. It basically, with the Flash, if you look at her first side, Flash gives everything indestructible. So if you need to keep your creatures alive, there you go. And then when something else dies, that's not an angel, transform her in a semi-board wipe. So pretty versatile. I think you could probably really do some neat things with her as a commander. I also love that she's kind of gone from, like, she has like I guess this lighter side sword. I don't know. I don't really get Addison because like she has like this fully dark on dress, and then she comes over here and then she turns into apparently red, but it looks more like black to me. But now I guess because it's on fire and stuff. I don't know, but it's kind of like weird to me that she's not like white black or something, or white black red here or something. But regardless, interesting card, and I think it is a pretty cool Boros commander for sure. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time, and have a good one.